In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create an automation that scrapes a YouTube transcript and uses AI to generate suggestions for tweets. Now, we're going to go one step beyond that. We're not just going to collect a list of suggestions. We're actually going to have the automation post those tweets directly to Twitter or to X. So let's dive into it. So this automation is actually going to be made of two different scenarios in make.com. And those two combined are going to give us this effect of scraping YouTube videos, generating tweets using AI, and then posting those at regular intervals. So this is the first scenario that we're going to create. And I'll just walk you through at a high level, and then we're going to go create it together from scratch. So first off, we're going to have a trigger that watches for a new YouTube video to be posted on a channel. Now, this could be your channel. It could be somebody else's channel. You can put any channel in there and it will watch for a video to be posted. When it sees a new video posted, we're going to use Dumpling AI to scrape the transcript from that video. We're then going to pass that into ChatGPT and ask it to generate 10 tweets that we could post to Twitter that are going to hopefully drive some engagement and be good quality tweets. This is a text parser that's going to separate those 10 tweets into an array of 10 different items. And then we're going to store that for the time being in Google Sheets. That's the first automation. Now, if we just wanted to post one tweet directly to Twitter or to X, we could actually get rid of this Google Sheets and even this text parser step. If we were just having ChatGPT generate one tweet or one post, we could actually post that in the following module. But I don't think that's as valuable as generating a bunch of tweets from a single video and then storing those. The reason I'm going to store those is because I don't want to go post 10 different tweets at once to X. I actually would like to space those out. So that's where the second scenario comes in. So let's flip over to that one. So this is the second scenario that's going to watch that Google Sheet where we're storing those posts. And when it sees new rows added, it's going to, at a regular interval that we defined, I think in this case I put in every 4 hours, it's going to grab the first one and post it. And then put a date in there that shows it was posted. And then it'll come back a few hours later, post again until it runs out of new posts to post. So that's the automation. Let's go ahead and dive into making it from scratch. All right, so I'm going to go to scenarios, create a new scenario. This is the first scenario that we looked at that's going to watch the YouTube channel for new posts. So we're going to start with the YouTube module. So go ahead and type YouTube. And if you don't see the automation that you're looking for, you can either click this or you can click more. So we're going to watch videos in a channel. So this is going to trigger when a video is published on a public channel or our channel, either one. Okay, so I've already connected my YouTube account. So if you haven't done that, you're going to need to go ahead and connect your YouTube account to make.com and then go ahead and put your channel ID. Now, if it's your channel that you want to watch, that you've already connected, and that's probably the most common use for this, although again, you could put somebody else's channel in here and watch that as well. But you can just put me into this field. So I've selected my channel, published before and published after. You can actually leave these blank if you want to just watch for new videos. If you wanted to control like where it started, say you'd been posting for 6 months and you want to start with your videos from 3 months ago, you can put dates in here that would control that, but you can just leave that blank. And then I'm only going to ask it to pull one video at a time. That's the first step. That's your trigger for this scenario. We're actually going to run this module only and see what it comes up with. Again, this doesn't pull the transcript. This just watches for it and tells you that you've got a new video. So in this case, the output is I've got a video ID, channel ID, title, and a description from my video. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so the next step, we want to put something in here that can scrape the transcript. The YouTube modules in make.com do not have the option at this point for scraping a transcript. So we're going to have to use something else. Now, there's a few different ways that we could do this. We could use an Apify actor and pull that transcript in that way. That's one option. We could use something like Zero Code Kit and actually put a little bit of Python code in here that would pull the transcript out. But we're actually going to use something I think might be a little simpler, and it's called Dumpling AI. Dumpling AI. And if you just put dumpling in YouTube, get a YouTube transcript. Okay, so you're going to have to go create an account with Dumpling AI and bring your API key or secret key. I don't remember what they call it. Bring it over to connect. So I'll show you how that would look. So you would just go to Dumpling AI, create an account. There's a certain amount of usage that you can get for free. And then beyond that, you're going to have to pay. That's pretty much true of a lot of these different apps. So you'd put your API key in here. I've already done that. And now we want to input a YouTube video URL. So we're going to look for the outputs from our previous module to bring in a URL. Now this is a video ID. So you can see this was the ID for that video. It's not a URL. So we actually want to put some additional text in prior to this video ID that will make that a complete our URL that Dumpling can go grab. And so if you go to any random YouTube video and just copy the link, you're going to get a bunch of text and you're just going to take that last little bit out. So it's going to be blah, 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 youtube.com, watch, V equals, and then there's going to be a video ID from whatever random video you grab. Just take that out and leave your video ID in there. So every time this runs, this YouTube module runs, it's going to bring the video ID for that video over into Dumpling AI. And so it's going to be able to grab the transcript for that video. In this case, I don't care about timestamps. I'm not going to include those. I don't need to change anything here. So there you have it. So if I now run this, so it went and grabbed my YouTube video ID and brought this into Dumpling AI, and the output, there's the transcript. So it worked. Excellent. So the next step is we're going to want to take that transcript into ChatGPT and ask it to generate ideas for tweets based on that video transcript. So we're going to add a module, OpenAI. If you haven't connected your account, you're going to definitely need to do that. Create a completion. My account's already connected. Create a completion model GPT-4o at this time. And these should be short, so I shouldn't really need to change the max tokens. So I'm going to add a system message. You are an intelligent, helpful content writing assistant. The next message I'm going to give it is a more detailed prompt about what I want it to do. So this next message is going to contain the real prompt. So I'm telling it we're crafting engaging and potentially viral tweets using a transcript from a YouTube video. We want it to analyze the transcript, identify key insights, ideas, or quotes that will resonate with our audience, write 10 tweets designed to spark curiosity, emotion, debate, etc. And we're asking it to be concise, relatable, end each tweet with a compelling question or call to action. Each tweet should be within quotation marks. I put that because that's how I'm going to parse the different tweets out later. So I want them all within quotation marks. Okay, and that's it. The next thing we need to give it is we need to give it the actual transcript. So I can actually just add a message, user, and I can say transcript and grab this transcript from Dumpling AI. And that should be it. Okay, so now I want to test this OpenAI module. I don't want to run the entire thing every time. So I can actually go into this last completion and go copy the transcript out of the last completion. So I'm going to copy that, and then I can right click and run this module only, and then I can just paste in the input that it would have gotten from dumpling. And let's run it. Okay, so here's our output, and here are 10 tweets that it generated based on that transcript. So that is awesome. So the next thing we're going to want to do is parse those out into an array so they're each an individual tweet rather than just a big blob of text. So we're actually going to get rid of this and add a text parser, and you're going to select match pattern. So this text parser is going to use something called regex or regular expression to use different characters, in this case, the quotation marks, to identify what is a distinct group and parse those out. You don't necessarily have to understand all this right now, but if you put in quote, parentheses, period, asterisk, question mark, parentheses, quote, like that, it will parse out everything that's within quotes. Global match, I'm going to check to yes, case sensitive, yes, the rest can be no. And that is it. So now if I want to test this text parser, I can actually go grab this output from ChatGPT. It's under choices, message, content. So we copied the output from ChatGPT, but the last thing I need to put in here is this is the actual text that I want to parse. So we're going to use the result from our ChatGPT module. So select that. And now if I want to test this, I can go grab the output from the prior ChatGPT run and go run this module only on the text parser. I'm just going to paste that in and click OK. And so because we had 10 tweets and we're wanting to parse it, we should end up with 10 bundles. We have 10 bundles, and it looks like it correctly grabbed each of those tweets and separated it out into an array. So anything that runs after this is going to run 10 times because we now have 10 bundles of data coming out. So the last thing we want to do is go store all of these tweets. In this case, I'm going to use Google Sheets. You could put them in Airtable, but for simplicity, we're just going to put them in Google Sheets. So I'm going to go add a Google Sheets, add a row. I've already connected my account. You know the routine if you haven't. And then I have a file that I set up for this, X post content, sheet name, sheet 1. And then I'm actually going to show you what this looks like. So this is the Google Sheet that we're going to be storing our tweets in. So it's very simple. I created a column for the content itself, and then a date generated column and a date posted column. And this will allow us to dive into the sheet anytime and just check on what's happening. We can see where we are in terms of posting what was generated. You could also come in and edit these if you wanted to check what ChatGPT had created and make modifications to that. You could certainly do that if it hadn't posted yet. You could put a delay in the posting so it would give you time to come in here and check. But this is a pretty simple sheet that we're going to put this in. So I'm going to put into the content, I'm going to want this $1 from the text parser. And then the date generated, I'm going to actually use a date format. So if you click on date over here, for the date generated, I want to put in now. I want the current date and time that the tweet was generated or added to that Google Sheet. So I can use this now, but the formatting is not going to be quite what I want. So I can use this format date function. If you go into the help on make.com, you can find a little library of different tokens that you can use for time and date formatting. So I already know what I want. So I'm going to do format date, and then inside this, before the semicolon, I'm going to put now. And then after the semicolon, this is where I'm going to put the formatting that I want. So in this case, I'm going to do m/dd capital Y 4 times. And then in lowercase, so I get the 12-hour clock, I'm going to put HH colon MM and then a capital A. That's how I want it formatted. That's going to give me the formatting that you see here, 11/22/2024. So that should do exactly what I want. Now let's test it. So I'm going to grab the output from just one of these. I'm going to run this Google Sheet, put in that text. Let's go look at what it added. So it put in the tweet and it put in the date and time. Perfect. That is our first scenario. So that hasn't posted anything to X or Twitter yet. Again, if we wanted to just post straight, if we wanted to generate one tweet and post it right to Twitter, we could get rid of the text parser in the Google Sheet and just have it post right away. But we're going to do better than that. So before we go create the next one, I'm going to name this so I can keep track of it. Tweet generator v2. Okay, so now we're going to create our second scenario that's going to take those tweets out of our Google Sheet, post them to Twitter, and then update the date posted so we know that it's been posted. So I'm going to rename this now. This is YouTube tweet generator v2 2 of 2. So now we're ready to start building this second scenario. The trigger for this scenario is going to be Google Sheets, and we're going to watch for new rows. That's what's going to set this one off. So I've selected my spreadsheet, the sheet that I want, and then I only want it to do one at a time. So anytime it sees new rows being added, it's going to start. And I can actually choose manually where I want this to start. So because I already have some rows in there, I'm going to select this last one. So it'll watch for anything that's added beyond that one. So the next thing I need to do is add a module to add a post to Twitter. So if you go X, formerly Twitter, and you're going to create a post. So the first thing you're going to need to do is connect your X account to make.com. And they've actually got a really helpful tutorial on how to do that. So you're essentially going to go to the developer or create a developer account, and you can get a free account or a free plan that gives you up to a certain amount of posting. So just follow these. You're going to essentially go create an API key or a secret key. You're going to put in this callback URI, redirect URL. You're going to put both of these in. There's going to be a spot in that developer side of Twitter. Put this in, and then you'll have the key that you can bring back over and put into here. So you'll end up with a client ID and a client secret key. So just follow those instructions. It's pretty straightforward. Once you've got that, we are going to just grab the content that we want to post. So in this case, we're going to grab content from this Google Sheet. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're actually going to add another Google Sheet. This one we want to update a row. So if you select your sheet, the row number that you want to update is the same row number that it's grabbing from this trigger. So you're going to select that row number, and then that will allow you to update this date posted. And we're going to use the same date formatting that we used in the previous scenario. So we're going to use format date now. And then I think we did it like that. So that should update the date posted in that third column so we can see what's going on. Click OK. Now this one, we're going to test it here in a minute, but in terms of how often it runs, we can set this to every day. I think I'm going to set it to regular intervals, and I'll keep it at, say, every 4 hours, which is 240 minutes. So whenever we have 10 new rows added, this is going to run every 4 hours until it exhausts those 10 rows, and then it's going to stop and wait for the next rows to be added. Click OK. So that should do it. So let's go ahead and test our 2 scenarios. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is run this. This should grab one of my videos and run through this whole thing. So let's go ahead and run this, see if it works. Okay, so it's grabbed a video, pulled the transcript. It's running that through ChatGPT right now. And we got 10 results into our Google Sheet. Let's go check that. We were at 12. We should go, yes, we got 10 more. And it put the date and time in. Perfect. Okay, now let's go check this second one out. I'm going to open my X account. Okay, so I have one post on X from 19 hours ago. So let's go run this, and it should post one tweet and update the date. All right, so it ran. Let's first check out our sheet. Okay, so I told it to start from 12. So it grabbed this first one from today, and it updated the date posted. So that's good. And let's go see if it posted anything. So if I refresh this, what if your next big content idea was hiding in plain sight? Awesome, it just posted that. What if your next big content idea is hiding in plain sight? It's working. So if I turn both of those on, as I post each new video to my YouTube, it's going to go grab 10, or it's going to go grab the transcript, create 10 tweets, store them in my spreadsheet, and then every 4 hours, it's going to post those until they're done, and it's going to wait for the next video. That's completely automated, super awesome. Obviously, we could go back and update our prompt. We could add hashtags. If we wanted to go in and use some best practices on writing these tweets, we could do that. The sky's the limit on how we could tweak this, but the key thing right now is it's working, and I think that's pretty awesome. So that is it. You have now created an automation that will post directly to Twitter using your YouTube or someone else's YouTube, if you choose that, as inspiration for those tweets. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please drop them below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.